Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday to you. Welcome to Red, White, and True News, where life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is alive and well. Welcome to Mr. Brutally Honest. He's busy at hand there. How you doing, sir?
Doing good, doing real good. Glad to be alive for another day.
Yeah, I hear that. On this side of the dirt, we're doing well. Oops.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know if everyone has heard or not, but it was like breaking news. It's probably been like 2 hours now. They had like a protest in New York City yesterday that was in protest of the Muslim prayer that Mamdani has, what we call, I don't know, implemented or whatever in New York City. They call it a Muslim prayer like what 5 times a day or something, almost like in Istanbul when the bell goes off, everybody's got to hit the deck. But so anyway, there was a protest by, I guess, some right-leaning guy named Jake Long or Jake Lang, or I've never heard of the guy, but nonetheless, so there was a counter protest, and the counter protesters, from what I'm understanding, is the ones that either threw, from what I'm seeing, see, this is instead of being first, I'd rather be right. So I'm really not going to expound too much on this because it's all kind of been breaking. But from what I'm hearing as of right now, this minute, on the 8th of March at 6:30 in the evening, that the IEDs were thrown. So I don't know, but from what I have gathered is that they were made out of that ITPAT or ITPA or something like that. It's some highly, highly deadly explosive material that foreign terrorist groups use. It's not something that you just find in everyday America, where people plant bombs and stuff. This is like the equivalent of like the Oklahoma City bombing, they're saying, the Austin bombing and stuff like that. But apparently these guys mixed it the wrong way. It's a very complex material, device, whatever you want to call it, to have to actually set it off. You have to have a charge device. You got to have there's all this. I mean, there's a lot of information that goes into it. So apparently these guys mixed it the wrong way, and that's why it didn't detonate, or they didn't detonate. There was multiple bombs in New York City at Gracie, right outside Gracie Mansion, which is where Mamdani and his Syrian-born wife live. Of which, by the way, Mamdani's wife, if everybody did not know, this week has come under fire because of her social media activity towards posts in reference to October the 7th and what 1,400, 1,700 Jews were slaughtered. Yeah, she liked it and laughed about it and everything else. Well, Kami Mamdani there was asked about it. And of course, he genuflected, didn't want to answer the question. But nonetheless, that's kind of the way that all went down. So anyway, I have the article here real quick just to hit on a couple of key points. The New York City officials have confirmed that a device ignited and thrown during protests near Gracie Mansion on Saturday was an IED capable of causing serious injury or death. In a statement posted to X on Sunday, NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch said that the department's bomb squad determined the device neither a hoax nor a smoke bomb. The NYPD bomb squad had conducted preliminary analysis of the devices that were ignited and deployed at a protest yesterday, and has determined that it is not a hoax device or a smoke bomb. So it started yesterday and it carried over into today, is what I was gathering earlier this afternoon. It is, in fact, an improvised explosive device that could have caused serious injury or death. Authorities are continuing to analyze a second device recovered at the scene. As of Sunday evening, a third device has been found at the scene. And there's a picture of the guy holding one of them when he throws it. You can see the smoke coming out of the top of it. Okay, here you go. Police arrested Emir Balat and Ibrahim Kayumi. Both remain in custody. 3 federal law enforcement sources said that the 2 suspects are believed to be U.S. citizens, that one suspect allegedly shouted Allahu Akbar before igniting and throwing the IED. The NYPD is working alongside the U.S. Attorney's Office. But I did want to mention, dang it, I don't know if it's in this article or not, that the one suspect, his father, I think, is from Afghanistan or Iraq. And the other guy's parents are from Turkey. So anyway, this is an ever-evolving story. So I'm sure I'll report on it some more this coming week. I don't know, Chris, you got anything to add to it?
You know, the only thing I want to say is this. The American people in New York and all these other places that want to elect a socialist and are electing these Muslim politicians, they're inviting this kind of violence, this kind of terrorism, where they're bringing IEDs into this country and throwing them. You know, if Mondani is going to bring those kind of people to counter protest the people there that's protesting the Muslim prayer, well, then it's Mondani who takes responsibility for them guys throwing the IEDs. Now, here's the thing about it, too, is they're going to make everybody that's going against the Muslim prayer, that's what they're going to concentrate on. They're not going to concentrate on the IED and these guys that threw them, and it has ties back to Afghanistan and Iraq and everywhere else. You know, and it's like you was mentioning to me earlier, how they're considering these people homegrown terrorists because they're, you know, saying something against the Muslim prayer. Well, hell, I think anybody who says something against the Muslim prayer is a terrorist then. That includes me, because I don't agree with it. That's like forcing my religion onto you or onto anybody else and forcing my beliefs onto somebody else. You know, that goes against my Quran. But Mondani, or however you say his name, he needs to step up and say either those people are with him or they weren't, and he needs to take responsibility because it happened in his town, his city.
Yep.
You know, and I know he won't do that.
No, he ain't gonna do it at all. Not at all. So, yeah. So anyway, like I said, it's an ever-evolving story. So I'm sure there will be, as the evening goes on, but I'll do some more reporting on it this coming week. Israel launches a new wave of strikes across Iran, warns it will target every successor of Khomeini. Speaking of which, as of a couple hours ago, they installed Khomeini's son. I don't know if you heard that or not, Chris, as the new supreme leader. So they basically just signed that man's death warrant.
Yep.
He'll probably be dead before tomorrow morning.
Probably.
Because I'm sure the Mossad knows exactly where he's sitting. And apparently, from what I heard today, he's a lot more savage than his father was.
The kids usually are.
Yep.
I mean, look at Saddam and look at his son, Uday.
Yep.
Uday was a sadistic SOB. So every leader like that has boys, they are 10 times worse. They are 10 times more sadistic. So, yeah. I mean, Uday was known for having gay men and women thrown off the roofs with their hands tied behind their back and their feet tied.
I believe it.
You know, he was he was known for having his tigers, then people thrown to his tigers so they could eat.
Oh Lord.
So people need to realize what's what. This
Yep.
could get pretty serious pretty quick. But yeah, like you were saying, he probably ain't gonna be around long. If he goes out in the public, they probably got him.
Oh yeah. Well, they're saying that they even before they even announced he was going to take over the new, supreme leader role, that they had already hit him out. But the problem is the Mossad got information from our CIA leading up to the first bomb that fell, which was on his compound, his father's compound. And I mean, you're talking about the two best intelligence agencies in the world. And they think for 1 second that we don't know where that guy is sitting at. I guarantee you we know where he is.
And we got the technology that is just, it's unreal. I had a cousin who was in the Marines, and this was back when we went into Grenada, right? When the Marines went into Grenada. He told me straight out, and he was in intelligence, and he says, I can talk about this now. He says, but our satellites up there, we can look through brick walls. We can look through walls of houses, that you wouldn't imagine. And we can tell you how many people's in the room and where they are, and if they're sleeping, standing, sitting, watching TV or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I believe it 100%. I mean, they can read the daggone newspaper from space, and apparently, according to Netanyahu, they're using space intelligence too.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
But yeah, I was gonna read this article on his boy. Iran's assembly of experts, call him, that has elected Mojtaba Khomeini, the son of late Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, as the country's new Supreme Leader. Khamenei is the second eldest son of Ali Khamenei, was born in Mashhad in 1969. Son is 56 years old. His early childhood coincided with his father's rise as a revolutionary figurehead opposing the monarchy of the Shah, Reza Pahlavi. After the Islamic Revolution in 1979, Ali Khamenei moved from a descendant cleric to a senior government official, holding key posts in the regime, including the deputy defense minister. The family moved from Mashhad to Tehran, where Mojtaba attended Alavi High School, which is a school that is known for educating members of Iran's political and religious elite. There he received a general and a religious education and graduated in 1987. In 1989, after the death of Ayatollah Ruhollah, Ali Khamenei was appointed supreme leader. The same year, Mojtaba began his formal cleric studies in Tehran. He studied under his father as well as Mohammad Hashemi Sharudi, who later served as Iran's chief justice. See, that's what a lot of people don't understand about this country, Iran, is this is a holy war for them. Mm-hmm. The U.S. is big Satan, Israel's a little Satan, and you're to kill all the infidels and take over the West.
Yep.
They see it as this is what Allah has told them to do, is to kill all of us. Mm-hmm. And a lot of Americans see it as, they're just so evil and this and that. No, they honestly believe this, folks. That Allah has told them to do this.
Yeah, and the problem is we've been dumbed down by the government and by society itself. that people don't look at the brutal reality and the brutal honesty anymore. You know, if you think about it, how much of this stuff have you seen over the last 20, 30, 40 years? And every time you hear about it, it's becoming more and more prevalent. And it's just like, I put this back into like these video games. These shoot 'em up, bang, bang video games where they kill people and stuff like that. That's nothing for those kids to get on there and play those games of war duty, war guns, whatever it is, start shooting each other, and they think that's exactly how it is in real life. Well, it's not. But this is where the FAFO comes into play, because they're starting to see it. If they open their eyes, they're starting to see that reality is a lot different than make believe. And the reality is, in the last 20, 30, and 40 years, it's becoming more and more prevalent what everybody's wanting. Look how many different organizations there are in America that's saying death to America. We are going to take over. We are going to destroy America from within. And then they've turned around and they're using the Liberal Party to do it for them.
Yep.
You don't believe me? Look at what the Liberal Party's been doing ever since Bill Clinton was in office.
Yeah. Yeah. Or lack thereof.
Look at, I mean, you got guys, Hakeem Jeffries. He is 3 sandwiches shy of a picnic in the smarts department, as far as I'm concerned. You know, he's just another Michael Obama. He's just out there just trying to bring on the racism stuff, bring on, you know, all the lies and everything, try to get people to start thinking like him. Was like Nancy Pelosi said, if you tell a lie so many times and in certain ways, that people start believing it after a while. And that's what the liberals are very good at.
Communist Manifesto says it right in there. Karl Marx wrote it. Yep. You just keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again. People will start to believe it. Yep. No lie there. This Trump says the unlikely tool Trump is eyeing to tackle rising oil prices amid the Iran conflict. How much Americans feel at the pump will depend on how long the disruption lasts and whether shipping and insurance markets stabilize. The new battleground in the Gulf isn't just on water, it's in the insurance market, where war risk coverage can determine which oil tankers sail and which stay put. With the conflict driving gasoline prices higher, the White House is weighing steps to keep oil flowing through the Straits of Hormuz and to keep prices from climbing further, of which I did hear yesterday that our Navy is going through with minesweepers, because apparently, you know, as they've always done, the Iranians, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, they all claim, you know, that they line the Straits of Hormuz with landmines and stuff. But we'll get ships going through there, that's for sure. Trump's already said it. But
well, it's like I heard him say he's going to have the Navy start escorting them ships through too.
Right, exactly.
And I did see a post on I forget where it was. I seen it. Oh, it was on TikTok, and I don't know if you can believe it or not because it was on TikTok. But it said there was a Navy vessel from Iran that surrendered their boat and all their crews to Sri Lanka.
Oh, yeah. I did hear that. Yeah. Matter of fact,
they surrendered and turned themselves over to Sri Lanka and said, we don't want no more of this.
Yeah, they supposedly shot that. They sunk. I think they sunk an Iranian ship that was sitting off the coast of Sri Lanka. I want to say that's where the Soleimani was when they shot it and put it in the bottom of the ocean. I don't know if that was the ship or not.
You know, and one thing I've noticed too, and the reason why I say I don't know if you can believe TikTok or not, or any of these other social platforms, is I've noticed, especially on TikTok, there's so many videos coming out and they're saying this, and this is true and that's true. Well, we all know you can't believe a damn thing the government says. And we also know that everything that's going on in the government, we won't hear about. But you see all these videos out there, and you don't know if they're true or not about American pilots getting shot down, the Navy ships getting blown up and stuff. Kind of like, what's going on? And then the submarine blowing up the ship. Kind of like, what is true? There's so much AI and CGI and all this other stuff out there. They're making these videos that you can't believe anything about what's being put out. So there is no way we as the American people are actually going to know the honest truth of what's actually been happening, because every skirmish that's ever been, I don't have TV. I don't have local news. I don't watch national news and stuff, but I listen. And I have not heard, this is one of the only skirmishes that I've heard. There is no national news reporters right in the middle of this thing. They were all in Vietnam. They were over at the DMZ. They were They were everywhere. Iraq, Iran. Iraq and Kuwait. And everywhere else. But they're not here.
Yeah.
So how do you know what is true, what isn't true?
I know Trey Yinks. Trey Yinks from Fox. He's over there. He's in Tel Aviv though. But other than that,
they can be saying one thing, but if there's no videos to prove anything, how do you know it's true?
Yeah. Well, they tell, like they tell us all, we're those tinfoil hat wearing Walmart shopping people, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I got my tinfoil hat.
There you go. Damn conspiracy theorist now.
Yeah.
You think ET's going to come get you? Well, I can't say that no more because I guess aliens are true.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to come out soon too, according to old Dan Bongino. They're gonna put out everything. And he said, I'm not going to get from the president here, but he did say on his podcast on Rome the other day, he said, look, I'm just going to tell people right now, what you think you're going to hear about UFOs, you're not going to hear it.
Yeah.
There's these people claim there's these flying objects out there. It all has to do with cameras, folks, and lighting. You can make anything look real with technology today. So I'm willing to bet that there ain't no such thing as UFOs, as there's always been, according to what I kind of picked up on what Dan Bongino was throwing down the other day, that the people ain't going to hear that there's UFOs out there.
They are not going to admit something that goes completely against what they've been spoon feeding the people. It's like they've been spoon feeding the people since the 60s. We landed on the moon. Okay? Now, we landed on the moon. I'm 61. I was born in 1964. Here's my question. Back then, we still had the party line in some houses because not everybody had Ma Bell yet as far as the regular phone. There was a couple people still had the party line system going on, especially with Southwestern Bell. But yet, you had to have rabbit ears on your TV with tinfoils on them to get the channel to come in. Okay, and you only had 3 channels: ABC, NBC, CBS, and then PBS.
PBS, yeah.
But you had UHF and VHF, right? But if we sent somebody to the moon, how in the hell can the President of the United States pick up a regular telephone and call the people on the moon? Explain that one to me. And if Neil Armstrong was the first person out during the lunar landing, who's running the camera? Because that camera couldn't have stood going through space on the outside of that lunar module and then landed and still be running. So who's out there running the damn camera? And then Buzz Aldrin, of all people, came out and said, yeah, you just think we went to the moon. So kind of like, so we've been spoon-fed all this stuff for a long time. And people are going to think what they want to think. And until they get solid facts slapped in the face, they're not going to believe anything else.
Well, I can tell you this, and I'm not, because I'm on a worldwide platform right here, I'm not going to say what the guy's name was that went to the moon, that actually stroked a check to someone that I know. And when they stroked a check for a nonprofit that they had an album with them of going to the moon. They were one of the astronauts that landed on the moon. And
well, I'm not saying people didn't land on the moon.
I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't really looked much into the moon landing. All I know is that we're fixing to go back to the moon, according to Elon Musk. Yeah. So if it didn't happen the first time, we all fixing about to find out the second time.
Right. But it's just, we've been spoon-fed so much stuff from our government that when you look at it with an open mind, and you don't hear everything that's going on. You do not hear everything that's going on like you're supposed to. There's so much shady shit going on all the time that it makes you wonder. Yeah. It's just like, okay, legislation. Remember when how a bill gets passed. Remember that back in the day?
Yeah.
I'm just a bill sitting on the steps of the Capitol building. It's kind of like the American people are supposed to be told about these bills from their representatives before they're voted on.
Yeah.
Not done. It hasn't been done since the 60s. If not before then. But the only thing I can tell you this that I believe with my whole heart, my dad was in World War II, signed my grandmother's signature for his name. He was 16 years old when he went in the Navy. Showed up in Pearl Harbor right after it got bombed. My dad was a Democrat when he got out of the Navy, voted that way his entire life until Bill Clinton ran for office. My dad, before he died, looked me square in the face, said the Democrats are going to destroy this country from within our own boundaries. And look what's happening. And that's the only thing I can tell you right now to your face that I believe is true.
Sure, absolutely. Even Reagan said it. If we're not careful, we will destroy ourselves from within. I mean, look, we're letting people from Muslim countries like Somalia run in the U.S. Senate, U.S. House.
We are at a point in time right now. I grew up with those saying, I know you did too. If you don't pay attention, history will repeat itself.
Absolutely.
And what do you think is happening? It happened in the Obama area where they tried to bring up all the racist stuff again. Michael Obama was really good about bringing up the racist stuff all again. That's all he talked about all the time. Yep. And now, here we are. We're going to destroy our country from within because we're not paying attention to history. Now, if we're paying attention to history, history will dictate this. It will tell you this. There's only one army in the world that never got destroyed during the Crusades. Do you know what army that was?
No, I don't.
Muslim.
Really?
Muslim army. They're the only ones that never got destroyed during the Crusades.
Wow.
Matter of fact, everybody was afraid to take on the Muslims.
Wow.
Now that's going back in history, and you got to look at your history in order to figure that one out. But
yeah, something they don't teach anymore.
And back then it was all to Allah and everything too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. They don't teach that stuff anymore.
No.
But I didn't learn that in world history. I learned that through people that was 20, 30, 40 years older than me Went back several generations. You know, I met a soldier who was, before he died, he was 99 years old. He told me, he said, when I was in the military, they said the one army we don't want to take on is the Muslims.
Hmm.
Because
Wow.
he was in Africa and he was all in the places like that. And they had to fight those guys way back then in the 20s and in the 30s and in the teens. And he said they never won anything.
Wonder if he'd feel the same way today.
He probably would.
Hmm. Wow. Muslim army. Jeez.
Which
Wow.
Muslims, they call them Persians also. So
Persians, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, what was that guy? I watched this TBN. It's the boots on the ground. It's two guys from Israel that broadcast on YouTube. That it was broadcast in let's see, Russian, Persian, English, something else. That basically it was Netanyahu telling the Iranian people that, look, you guys ain't seen nothing yet. Stay indoors. Don't go outside, because now that this new leader's been, installed, and he's more savage than his father. The dumbest thing that guy could do is start killing more of his own people.
right.
Because that very well could start happening.
Now here's my question to you. Here's a question. To all of you American people. You got all these green hair, blue hair people protesting ICE. Like ICE is the number one thing to protest, right? But yet you have a country who has killed well over 1,000 Americans. Not only that, they've killed up to 40,000 of their own citizens. They behead women if they don't wear the burqa. They behead women just for the hell of it. If the husband's mad at them, there's an honor killing, they can kill them. Same thing with their daughters. Why are you people not protesting that? Why are you not protesting the violation of human rights? See, I remember back in the 80s and the 90s where people did protest human rights problems. But they don't do that no more. Why is it? Oh, it's because you're not getting paid to do that. But you are getting paid to go out and say, stop the war, stop the war, stop the war. Now, is this an actual full-blown war? That's the question. Is this a full-blown war?
Well, I think that's kind of a double-edged sword there, because I think the days of fighting wars where you're going to have 50,000, 100,000 ground troops go in, boots on the ground wars are coming to an end. Wars are going to be fought in control rooms and CENTCOM, and
according to our own legal system, if President Trump was going to declare war, he had to get approval from Congress. He didn't get approval from Congress because he did not declare war.
I heard him say we're at war.
He might say we're at war, but he did not declare war.
I know we've had like 120 some conflicts in the United States since our inception. And you know what? The U.S. Supreme Court has never ruled on the War Powers Act, not one time.
But the Democrats are trying to get it done.
Huh?
Democrats are trying to get that done now, but it ain't going to happen.
It ain't going to happen. It's already been shot down in the House and in the Senate.
Yeah.
That is absolutely they're barking up the wrong tree there.
And the one thing Trump said that was true, I know this for a fact because I studied it, is if we are in a time of conflict when the elections for the president is happening, he can cancel the elections. And it's been done before in the past with World War II. Franklin Delano Roosevelt canceled the elections. That's why he served 3 terms.
Yeah, there was a lot of that talk going on during the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
That Trump was going to do something with the election. He was going to stay in there for a 3rd term and this, that, and other thing. He's got to be the greatest troll ever. because he keeps throwing it out there. Oh, maybe we should run for a third term or something, because he knows it burns their ass, you know.
Well, I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. Hate is a very bad thing. There is some people in this world that I truly dislike with every breath that I take, and there's people that I wouldn't care if they was here anymore or not. But hate is big time. But here's the problem: they have put it in our face so much how much they hate President Trump.
Oh, sure.
How they hate the man who not only supported Democrats, he was the first person to write a check for Jesse Jackson when Jesse Jackson ran for president. Trump put money in the Democrat side of things before he decided to run for president. He also did the same on Republican. He shared both sides. He got awards for helping the black community. He got awards for helping the Democrats. But yet, here we go. Just the hate for this man is boggles my mind how they can hate somebody so much.
Yeah, it must suck to have so much hate in your heart, man. I mean, hell, there's doctors out there they're diagnosing people with Trump derangement syndrome.
I got to take a phone call real quick.
All right.
Take it. Hey.
Yeah, there's actually doctors out there that are they're diagnosing people with Trump derangement syndrome. It is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Okay. All right. Yeah, the truck sitting out here just right inside the shop.
Chris, he's just gonna stand. He's just walking outside. The whole world can sit here and listen to this conversation.
Go for it. I'll call O'Reilly's and tell them to pull out a order for it. And you might have to sign something.
Oh yeah, I was
But
going to tell you guys about the
do what?
The Straits of Hormuz.
That's fine. That's fine.
But anyway,
Yeah. No, you're good. You can go out there and get
I was involved in the tornadoes yesterday. 9 tornadoes. Right to Heartland, multi-day outbreak, leaving 8 dead and communities devastated. Yeah, Union City, Michigan got hit bad. Devastation was part of a multi-day severe weather outbreak across Texas, the Plains, and the Midwest before moving towards the Great Lakes. Storm system spanned more than 1,500 miles, impacted 90 million people. Yeah, it's pretty bad. They're saying this spring tornado season is going to be a historic one, so everybody hunker down and get ready. Because it's going to be a bad one. Cass County Sheriff's Office identified a 12-year-old boy as one of the victims killed. That's sad. Authorities said the boy, Silas Anderson, was reported missing in a severe storm slammed the area. Was later found injured. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer declared a state of emergency for the impacted counties devastated by the deadly outbreak ahead of touring the impacted community. There she is in the helicopter touring the area. Oh, wow. I'm looking at a picture right now in Major County, Oklahoma, Thursday.
It's under my name, broken. It's called broken.
Tornado swept through Michigan and Oklahoma.
It was 334-3421.
Jeez, what's Chris giving out information? Everybody can hear him across the world.
And it started report from 2023. Kurt looked it up the other day.
Yeah, so anyway, oh man, this is a picture of that Union. You know what the craziest part is, folks? Is I'm looking at ice still on a lake in Michigan. Ice.
You see it there?
It was like in the lower 40s when these tornadoes hit up there.
Okay. Well,
Snow was still on the ground in some places.
Jacob Hunter.
Is that not crazy or what?
Yeah, he's a kid.
You got to understand the way tornadoes form. with that cooler
But he's on the
air
way over right
at
now.
the surface, I just, to me, it's hard to believe that even tornadoes even formed.
Ready.
Oh wow, there's a big old piece of privacy fence went right through the side of a trailer. If you guys don't have the WeatherWise app, I'd highly advise you. I'm not sponsored. WeatherWise is a great website to have. At Ryan Hall on YouTube, he is phenomenal. I enjoy watching storm chasers and stuff, but yeah, Ryan Hall's really good. Those guys were all across Oklahoma and Kansas and Missouri and all that the other day. But I'm looking at this tornado right here that went through Union City, Michigan, and geez almighty. It came in EF3.
Oh, you talking about storm chasers?
Yeah, I was going through this article of that supercell that went through Union City, Michigan. 8 people were killed. Man, I'm looking at ice still on the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Up there in Michigan, there's ice still on a lake, and they have.
Donna said last week they were getting snow. They were getting snow, and then they had tornadoes.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Because like I was saying a few minutes ago, that the way tornadoes form and stuff with the, it's typically warmer weather at the surface, not colder air. That's weird. That is very weird.
Well, I'm going to change the subject just for a second. That phone call here where I live, up here in Oklahoma, we have a VOTEC. And at this VOTEC, they got diesel mechanic school up there for these high school kids.
We have it down here, yeah.
And I got a starter. It's going out of my white Dodge. It's a 2-year-old Dodge starter. The solenoid is already going bad on it. You got to tap it in order to start the truck. Well, got a lifetime warranty, so I called Jabe and said, "Hey, you mechanicing yet?" He said, "Yeah, I'll do some stuff." It's good. Come over here and pull this starter and give me a new one. So I'm helping the youth of America learn how to do what they're training for. And that's one thing Mike Rowe's big on too, is getting the youth of America going again.
Back in the trades, man.
Yep.
We need tradesmen bad.
We need diesel mechanics big time.
Oh yeah.
Especially one that'll work on these older model Dodge pickups. And the older model Fords and the older model Chevy Dodge diesels, because they're all getting trained in this brand new stuff. But he's on his way over here. He's going to fix that starter for me. I'll pay him. I figure it's time to let somebody else do some of this stuff. And the man's going to school to learn. By God, I'll let him learn. And I think we all need to start doing that. Find these younger fellers that's got an interest in something and help them out.
Yep. Well, one way to learn is to do it. Only one way to learn, that's to get out there and do it.
Nice thing about it is the kid lives about 1.5 miles from me.
Oh, he'll be right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember.
When he shows up, I'm going to have to skedaddle, so.
Yeah, I'm going to be getting off here soon anyways. But I remember as a kid growing up, man, used to be able to throw 3, 4, 5 grown men in the engine compartment of a truck. We sit there and work on it and shoot the shit and drink a beer if you wanted or whatever. And now you got to pull the whole daggum engine out to change the oil.
Yep. I remember when I was in Fort Hood, Texas, I bought a C20 pickup, Chevy pickup. And transmission was going bad, and we had to pull the clutch out in order to do it. And back then, we used a high lift jack and a chain. There was 5 of us from my platoon. We was working on it. We pulled the transmission clutch up through the floorboard of the truck.
Wow. Wow.
They don't make vehicles like that anymore.
No, they don't. Everything's made out of plastic. You done broke half of it.
Yep.
What do you got? That 6, what was that, a 6.7 Cummins in your truck?
12 valve.
12, yeah.
97 model, all mechanical.
Yeah,
and everybody wants that truck.
Yeah, I've got a Ram 2500, But mine ain't no 97 though.
What I'm looking for is a 97 to a 2002 oldest 24 valve dually. Because 2002 was the last year they made them, they were mechanical. But from 99, 2002, they were 6 speeds. I'm looking for one so I can put an arm bed on it.
You know, they don't even make stick shifts no more, man. You know what? I was self-taught. I taught myself how to drive a stick shift on my parents' car lot. When it was time to bring the vehicles in, I'd go out there and I jumped right in, and didn't matter. My stepdad said, "Hey, how did you drive that 5-speed down there?" I said, "Taught myself, Terry."
I got 2 trucks sitting out here. One's a 2004 Dodge, 1-ton single axle. It's a 6-speed, and I got that 97 Dodge 5-speed 12 valve. One's a 24 valve, one's a 12 valve. And I tell you what, that 12 valve has a hell of a lot more power than that 6-speed. Plus that 6-speed has highway rated gears in it, whereas the 97 model is a work truck. I can put it in 4-low first gear and I can walk faster than it can crawl. But I guarantee you what, it'll go up a hill like this.
Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah, I bet I was probably 9, 10 years old, and I was driving it while I was sitting in my stepdad's lap driving the 3 on the tree.
Oh yeah, 3 on the tree. I was driving tractors by the time I was 6. You know, and I remember having to drive a truck, and they put books, telephone books, big thick ones, and then we put wood stumps on the pedals,
so you can reach them.
Old 3 speeds, 3 on the tree.
That's right.
That's just how we did it.
Well, you found a way to do it, and back then we didn't have the internet, we didn't have smartphones. We actually had this thing called smart. It was our brain.
Yeah. And then also you got plenty of encouragement too when somebody's on the back of that truck throwing hay off, and he tells you, "You throw me off this truck, I'm gonna bust your ass."
That's
so
right.
you pay attention to what you're doing.
You paid attention. That's right. You weren't like this. Had your head in the telephone the whole day.
That's right.
Ain't learning shit.
That is absolutely correct.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to call it a night. He's going to have to go get his truck fixed here shortly, and I got some things that I got to get wrapped up too. So we're going to make it a couple minutes early tonight. But appreciate everyone joining us. And let me see here. Okay, never mind. But yeah, hope everyone has a great week. And till next time, take care of yourself and each other. Bye for now.
Sit on a wooden fence too long, you're going to get a splinter in your butt.
All righty. Absolutely. Good night, everyone. Have a great week. Bye for now.